Welcome to my tutorial video ComfyUI for Windows users. I'm your host Edwin Braun, and today we are learning the process of how you can join the AI revolution with your very own Windows PC. Believe it or not, you might not even need a freaking expensive GPU card from NVIDIA. If you wanted to, you could just use your CPU all along. However, while it is possible to use a CPU, it is recommended to use a GPU card from NVIDIA. The most fun results are achieved with modern GPU cards like an RTX 4090. And however, older RTX cards might also work totally fine. The main issue is VRAM. So if your card has a minimum of 8 gigabytes, you're good to go and try out with a GPU accelerated AI system. So if you're a Windows user who's struggling understanding all this Linux-based AI mumbo jumbo, this video is for you. I'll show you in simple, easy steps how to set up ComfyUI and install it on your Windows PC without any trouble or issues or complex scripting or whatever. You don't need any knowledge at all. I'll show you step by step, really simple, how to set up ComfyUI. This tool runs in a browser, so when it's set up and running, it's very easy to use. If you can browse the web, you can use your own personal AI system. To use its full potential, we will also install a ComfyUI Manager add-on, which I think is needed and makes it even easier to control and set up and experiment with AI systems out there. By the end of this video, you'll be able to experience AI firsthand, all locally on your own Windows system and with complete privacy. So everything runs on your PC. So you could even download AI models that are uncensored and create whatever images or AI generation you want to do. And I'm here to make sure the process of installation runs smoothly on your system. Let's get started and unlock the power of AI on your Windows machine. So let me just switch to my browser window and dive right in. So what you need to install is just a Windows browser. Here we're using Edge. You can use whatever preferred web browser you have. And we're just looking for an application called ComfyUI. Probably the first hit will give you something called GitHub ComfyUI, the most powerful, blah, blah, blah. So what we want is go to GitHub. Don't be afraid, just click the link. And then you get this, that looks like programming and really complex and a lot of stuff you read, commands and blah, blah, blah. Don't be overwhelmed. No, don't be afraid. All will be fine. We'll just help you. So you scroll down until you see installing. So that talks about the installation. And don't read any further. It says there's a portable standalone build for Windows. Just click this release page here, this link. This will bring you to a portable installation build. So you have now two options. You download the stable version. Stable means it's tested and there is no known large or big issues. And there's also the other builds, download link with unstable nightly PyTorch. So unstable just means it won't break your PC or anything. It could have bugs, it could not work as intended, and so on. Now it depends how adventurous you are. If you want to go with a stable version that is known to work pretty well, or if you're more adventurous and want to try out the latest and see if that maybe works for you. For now, I'm going to just download this version. And for downloading this version, we would just click the download link and start downloading. This is about 1.6 1.7 gigabytes, so it might take some time to download. Let me just switch to my Explorer window. So there we can see it should show up in a second. There we go. It is a 7-zip file, the unstable nightly build. And from that, we are going to just unzip the version. Let me just go here and say extract all. So that will give me the option to name a target folder, and I will just name this target folder ComfyUI Windows Portable, something like that. And now it is extracting 5.52 gigabytes. This will take some time to extract. So after the extraction is done, it's estimating about 10 minutes. So I will pause the process until we have all the data extracted. And we are back. So it took about 4 minutes to install all the files we have here right now. Let's see what we got. The most important part is, let me just go into the folder. So we created this folder here. Let me just make sure you can read all the folder we just created here. Let's have a look inside of this ComfyUI folder. And the great thing is everything is contained in one folder. So there are several files. The README file that says README, very important. You should read that. Make sure you read that. And then we have a run CPU. And this is what I mentioned before. You can run this on pure CPU mode. So if you don't have a NVIDIA card, you can use that option. Or better yet, use the run NVIDIA GPU bat file. That will start our ComfyUI. Let's bring up first the content of this folder we have here. So it's important to note that we have ComfyUI as our main folder in here, then Python embedded and update. The important part is the Python embedded. So this is a self-contained installation. So everything is in this one folder. If you want to get rid of and you don't like it, you just delete the folder. Nothing is installed on your system files in Windows. So it's just deleting the folder and you're done. So that's very, very nice. The Python embedded means there is a Python system already there installed in this folder. So you could use all the Python functions you can find on the internet, like the pip install option, for example. You can use that to install additional stuff. But we are not going into that, so don't be afraid of that. However, it's important to understand the ComfyUI folder structure. The Comfy folder is important. In the Comfy folder, you will find some what they call JSON files. This is important to know for later on. And another important folder is custom nodes, then models, input, output is also important. So the output folder will collect all your images, or whatever material you create will land usually in the output folder, unless you say save as and pick your own. Make sure you check the output folder. It will have for sure hundreds of thousands of images in no time at all. Then we have some other folders, but which don't matter right now. The models folder is the most important one. In the models folder, you find again more subfolders: checkpoints, clip, clip vision, configs, controlnet, diffusers. It doesn't matter right now what this means. The most important part is that usually when you get a workflow and it says, oh, you need these diffusers, then you just put them in the diffusers folder. When a workflow says, hey, you need this in your checkpoints, you put it in the checkpoint. Or you need it in the clips folder, put it in the clips folder. Or LoRa's, or whatever. So usually it's very easy to decipher what to do when you start experimenting with what's out there in the World Wide Web. So make sure you come back to the ComfyUI. As I mentioned, the models folder is the most important one when we want to add model. So now we are back in our root folder where we installed our ComfyUI, and there's this run NVIDIA GPU bat file. I'm going to just run that. Just double click this run NVIDIA GPU bat file, and this will bring up a warning message where it says, depending on your Windows version, where it says, oh, Microsoft Defender protects you, your privacy, oh, alarm, alarm. Don't be afraid, just go to more info and then choose run anyway. That will bring up our server. And let me now switch to our ComfyUI server. Running the bat file will give us this nice system. Everything is up and running. So this process is really fast. It tells you some information, everything is fine. And it says to see your user interface, you would just go here, and we're just going to copy this user interface, and I'll go now to my browser window. I created a new tab and just type in this address. Now we have here, and I'll bring probably also our server next to it. So what we have here is the user interface of ComfyUI. So that's when you first install it, run the bat file as we saw it, open up this server window where you get some information what's going on. And then we have the user interface in the browser. It tells you go to this address and you type it in up here. And now you can start doing things. Usually, when you want to execute an AI sequence or an AI prompt, you just go to Q prompt. Press this button and it will execute. So when you click now, it gives you an error message. Prompt outputs failed validation, blah, blah, blah. Something is missing. This thing here is missing. A CKPT. That's a checkpoint. That's our AI system. The data that is needed so that we can type in prompts. So when we zoom into our user interface, we can see here's the load checkpoint node. These little boxes are called nodes and they have connections in and outs. Tell the system what to do step by step. So it follows. This is the first step. Load my AI system. And that is called somehow v1-5.ima only CKP. How on earth would you know what all this craziness means? Very simple. We are going to install something extra, an add-on. ComfyUI is really one of the best systems out there that allows you to control multiple AI and create your own workflows. So what we need now is an add-on, and I'll show you how to install the add-on. Let me just shut this down. We are now going back and search for an add-on called ComfyUI Manager. Once again, the first hit should be our GitHub ComfyUI Manager. Just click that, and we're back to this weird programming repository thing. Once more, a lot of information, a lot of data. You should read it through, learn it. However, I'll show you how we can install that. So there's some things they usually want you to do is install a system that helps you installing their add-on. So they say if you have a Git already installed on your system, then you just call this in a command line. I'm showing you a much easier method, a much easier way to install that. We'll get it up and running without any extra hassle. So what you do is, and that's really a nice thing with GitHub, where you have these things hosted, you just go up here where it says code, this button here. And there's an option where you can say download zip file. And that is what we are doing right now. We're downloading the zip file. And now it asks me where to download the zip file. I want to download it on the same space like we had it here. So I'll just say save this file in my main folder as a zip file. And it's starting to download. It should show up in a few seconds. So it's about 2 megabytes, I think. Here we go. It's downloaded. And now we can just do the same thing. So I just downloaded the zip file. I'm opening the zip file and just open the zip file, copied this folder. I'll just go back. And now we're going back into our ComfyUI installation. And I told you the folder inside ComfyUI are important. So now I'm back in my ComfyUI installation. And we are just copying this in the custom notes folder. So I'm just pasting this here and it's now copying all over. Now I have copied my content, unzipped my content into the custom notes folder. So that's all we need to do. And that should give us an installation of the ComfyUI manager. So how about we run again our ComfyUI manager? Let me just go back to my browser. And so here we see this is our server starting up. And now it is doing something in the background. It's installing the stuff for you. And now we are getting some warning messages. Don't worry, don't be alarmed. We're Windows users, so we should be used to these kind of things. There are several add-ons, additions that do not work on Windows or are missing on Windows. Let me rephrase that. But that's no issue at all. And once more, we are just copying this, Control-C, this link. I'm going here in my browser. So now that we have our manager installed, we can try to install the missing checkpoint. Let me just go back to our overview with the user interface. So if we were to run now again our system, we will still get the error message that this thing here, this checkpoint is missing. So how can we know where this checkpoint comes from and what it is? Let's have a look at the name. So that's pruned email only checkpoint. Our ComfyUI manager allows us to install models. When we look here, what we can do all with the manager. Isn't that great? So we say, okay, we'll want to install models. So hundreds of models, I guess, are here. Yes, a long list. So how do I find the model we need? So remember, we got the error message. Let me just go back and create this error message again. This thing here is missing. So what we could do is just copy it, bring up our manager again, install models, and paste it here in the search. And there we go. We have one hit. If we were really lazy, we could just type in EMA and search for our model as well. There it is. And then all we need to do is press the install button and it will start installing. You can see now in the server window, it takes some time to install. It is now downloading once more several gigabytes of AI data. So these checkpoints are usually between 6 and I even saw 12, 20 gigabyte AI models. But this seems to be pretty reasonable in size. So once this is downloaded, it will install it for us and make it available. And that's the great thing about the manager. This is why I wanted to show you install the manager, because it makes it so easy to get started. You don't need to know where to put stuff and how installation and things work. So what it actually did, let me just go back to the Explorer window, File Explorer. As I mentioned, the most important folder is the models folder. In the models folder, there's the checkpoint. So what this system for us did is it copied these 4.1 gigabytes in the models folder. And now it's available for ComfyUI. So now if we were to click again, we should not see an error message. Let's see if that is true. Let me just go back. So what I did is I just pressed the Q prompt and we can see it's already processing and working. And look at that. Here we have an output. So let me just move the output over here so that we can zoom in and understand what's happening. So in general, how this system works is you load your AI system, the checkpoint. This box, as I mentioned, is a node. It has inputs and outputs. So then you have your prompt and you have a negative prompt as well. And I'm not going to explain in detail right now the nodes. We just want to have some fun now that we have installed on our Windows system all the stuff we need. So we got this first image here. And the one thing you need to understand and learn with AI systems, they are statistics based. So they have a huge internal database where they have weights attached. So every prompt will create a different variation of image. So if you don't like the image you created, you just press Q again and you get a new image. So all is in the power of this here. And now there is one thing, you don't know what to write, how these models work, and every model has its own style and keywords. However, what I found works best is prompthero.com. When you go to prompthero.com, you can pick stable diffusion, which is what we installed. And you can see here, we have, let's just pick the first one. Let's just click on that. And it has a description that would create this model. However, keep in mind, everyone uses their own favorite model. It uses the XL base 09 model. Right now, I don't care about that. I just want to have something to start and play around. So I just copied this thing here and I'm going to paste it in here. So it just says, let me just zoom in a little bit more. Aesthetic, painterly style, modern ink, Asian girl, sensual, sultry, neo-expressionist, all kinds of crazy thing. We press the Q prompt button and there we go. We have our picture here or image. So now we can say, I don't want a painterly style. Let's just say photoreal style and see if that works. Press the button. Still not working. Okay, I'll get rid of this Russ Miller. I have no idea who this is. And probably I'll just remove the modern ink and we'll try out this one. There we go. So we can create now our images and all is locally on your Windows system. So everything runs on your card, on your own system. So everything you type in here, everything you download there is processed locally. So how about we try to create a thumbnail for this video? Let's say YouTube thumbnail image. I don't know if that works. I'm just making things up as I go. Installation of software, desktop, monitor, dark room. Something like that. I have no idea if that works. And that's the fun of it. So you can enjoy now. Oh, there we go. There we have something. Artist in shock. Let's see what that gives us. No. There we go. Okay, we are getting there slowly. And then you make your way. As I mentioned, this is not meant as a ComfyUI how to use window. I will make probably another tutorial video that explains how to create and use ComfyUI. However, there is a load button where you can load your own ComfyUI setups. Another interesting thing is you can do, let me just show you this Just to close this out, we go back to our ComfyUI GitHub. That's the very first thing we were, if you remember. So there's these UI setups, and there's a link, ComfyUI examples. And this gives you examples of image to image in painting, and you can go through, or actually you should go through with these examples. So let's just go to an image to image workflow. So here we have an image to image workflow, and this uses an image to create an AI result. And this image input should be put in the input folder. So they explain you in detail what to do. That's about it. Keep in mind, for Prompt Hero, you have a start, and with this model, you can create this kind of images. There's a lot of models out there. You can just go in there, install models, and find new models. Photoreal, there's a lot of Photoreal. Okay, here's a Photoreal model. I know one I like, that's Juggernaut. So if a model is not available from Manager, I will show you in another tutorial video how to install it. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like this video. This helps me a lot, and I'll probably do more ComfyUI videos, how to set up, how to get new nodes installed, and how to do some more advanced stuff in ComfyUI. Once more, I hope you enjoyed this installation video, and as you've seen, it's very easy, simple, straightforward to get your own AI working locally. And my emphasis is on privacy and working your AI system locally on your own hardware, own machine. So no connections to the outside. You can try out as you wish and start your AI journey. Thanks and goodbye.